Hello and welcome to Ryno's Orioles Report. Please like the video and subscribe to the channel. Very weird series post-All-Star break, post-trade deadline for the Baltimore Orioles. Very weird. They went into Chicago, Wrigley Field, the north side of Chicago as it's commonly used, and they had a real shot to win the series against the Cubs. They had a real shot. They did win one game, and the other two games were very close. They really were. So that kind of does say a lot about the team, even though they were maybe not gutted, the right word, but about a quarter of the starters were moved at trade deadline. Yeah. So you can see I'm on MassivSports.com. Let's get to game one. Got a lot to get through. You really got a lot to get through. A lot of roster moves. Very confusing. It's game one of the series, again at Wrigley Field. Baltimore Orioles, nothing. Chicago Cubs, 1. Total of 7 hits in this game. 3 by the Orioles, 4 by the Cubs. Yeah, wow. Holiday, 1 hit. Also walked once. Westberg, over. Henderson, over. Walking once. Rutschman, 1 hit. Jordan Adams, pinch running late. Yeah, he's back on the team. A lot of roster spots. Did not get in the bat, though. Tyler O'Neill, over. Cowser, over. Mayo, over, but did walk once. Proving plate discipline. That's a good thing. Kobe Mayo needs to get more at-bats. I think 6th or 7th is the right spot for him. It's getting him in there to where he might get a few extra at-bats, or he will get the at-bats, but maybe not so much that it's a high-priority hitting order. Carlson, over, but walked once. Jeremiah Jackson, 1 hit. Rutschman with a double. Holiday with a stolen base. Jackson, as in Jeremiah Jackson, right? Caught stealing. It wasn't Alex Jackson running because Alex Jackson wasn't playing. Yes. Jeremiah Jackson, had an okay series at the plate and picking up a few hits, but other than that, he doesn't look that good. Defense, running the bases, actually, I take that back. Defensively, he did have one nice throw from right field. But I don't know really whose fault this is. And this is in Sunday's game. In the outfield, if you're the center fielder and you can get to a ball, it's yours. Now, Carlson, a little less experience out there, also knowing that if Jeremiah Jackson gets to the spot and is camping under it, and I'm not yet to the spot, okay, maybe I could catch it and catch it on the run, but if he's already there and camped under it, why should I call it and make him move? But again, you're the center fielder, and if you can get to the ball, you're supposed to call it and take it. But again, if the dude is already there and camped under it, and he's got his hand up, and he's got his other hand here, catch it two-handed, but then he just closes, and then the ball just falls right at his feet. And it's weird. But, yeah. And oh yeah, that run did score. And oh yeah, that was the difference in the game. But yeah, this is Friday's game. That was Sunday game. Trevor Rogers, one of the best performances you'll see by a young pitcher. 8 full innings pitched, technically pitched the complete game. Because you're on the road and you lost. Giving up 4 hits. 4 hits over 8 innings, that's fantastic. Does give it the 1 run, which sucks, but at the same time, it's only 1. Who got it? It was back-to-back doubles or something like that, right? Because Crow Armstrong and then Shaw driving him in. Or No, I'm sorry. Ian Happ driving him in. So it wasn't back-to-back doubles, but it was close. No walks. Wow, whip is a half. Got half a whip. That's fantastic. And then 8 strikeouts. For a guy that his fastball tops out at what? Maybe 95 on a good day? But it probably averages 94. It's fantastic. And no. Sorry, Rob Long. And whoever else agrees with Rob Long, I'm not going to apologize. I still didn't like the trade. Not because of who you got, but because of who you had to give up. I will say that until I'm blue in the face. It could have been Kerstad and Norby, or it could have been just Stowers. But no. You didn't want to give Kyle Stowers any playing time. Opening up old wounds here. And probably will every time I see Trevor Rogers pitch really well. Oh well, let's get to game 2. Baltimore Orioles 4, Chicago Cubs 3. Holiday, Ofer. The dead score was a fielder's choice or an error, I think. It was a fielder's choice. Westberg, 2 hits and an RBI. Gunnar Henderson, 2 hits, 3 RBIs. Rutschman, 1 hit. Did walk once. Mayo, Ofer in the 5-hole this time. A little too high for him, but it's whatever. Dylan Carlson, Ofer. Colton Cowser, Ofer, but walked once. Excuse me. Jeremiah Jackson playing right field, 2 hits. What is his name? Joyce Adams? Jordan Adams. I forget this guy's name. Because he barely gets any playing time. Where am I at? There's too many people, too many new people at once to try to remember all this shit. Very hard. Try to keep up. Jordan Adams does come in to play defense for Jeremiah Jackson because, again, I said his defense isn't that good. Ofer and Oldie played appearance for Adams. Luis Vazquez, yes, back with the roster. Good job. Ofer. Terran Vavra. That's going to open up some old wounds. You rat bastards. Oh, pinch hitting. Stealing it at bat from somebody else. Again. It's a damn vulture. Terran Vavra is the damn vulture. And no, I don't mean that guy, from the TV show Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Vulture is a term we use for a relief pitcher. Where the win, they are credited with the win, even they didn't really do a whole lot. Yes, okay, they were in the game, but they were only in the game when the offense scored. That's what they call a vulture. Oh, and spoiler alert, Terran Vavra isn't actually on the team right now. Whatever. Rutschman with a double, Henderson with a home run. Yeah, that was a game-winning 3-run home run in the 8th inning. Right here. Jordan Westberg, his RBI, his 2-out RBI, also helped. Of course, Westberg had to make up for it because he was picked off and he made a throwing error. Cool. Wonderful. Tomoyuki Sagano getting the start in this game. Not the greatest outing, but not the worst. I mean, the Cubs are... They're 64-46. They are a good team. So, having that kind of performance is relatively good. Especially in the state of the Baltimore Orioles right now. Sagano going 5 full innings, does give up 5 hits and 3 runs and 1 walk, striking out 5. But it's not terrible. You do keep the team in the game. You can't pitch forever. Somebody else has to come in and step up too. Corbin Martin, first man out of the pen, pitching the full 6th inning, does give up 2 hits, but no runs, no walks, 1 strikeout. Wolfram next in line, pitching the full 7th inning, does give up a hit, but no runs, does walk a batter, strikes 2 out. Yanier Cano in for the 8th inning, no hits, no runs, no walks, 1 strikeout. Okay, good. Way to get back into form. Keegan Aiken chosen to get the save in this game. To a certain extent, part of that is because Cano and his track record doesn't seem to do good in the 9th inning for some reason. I don't know if it's nerves or he just didn't like it or he think it's Felix Bautista's spot, so he trying not to do as good, or to a certain extent, in this case, it was where they were at in the lineup and how they matched up. So Aiken in there, little bit shaky. It did take him 27 pitches, but in the end, full ninth inning for his first save this season. First traditional type save. Keegan Aiken does have several saves from a 3-inning standpoint. His first 1-inning save. No hits, no runs. 2 walks, 2 strikeouts, though. Got it done in the end, so that's relatively good. Sunday's game, Baltimore Orioles 3, Chicago Cubs 5. Holiday 1 hit, Westberg hit, walked once, Henderson hit an RBI and a walk, Rutschman 1 hit. Started the game as DH, and as you can see, he also caught in this game. This is why I hate that. 1, because now your pitcher has to be in the lineup. And 2, you DH Rutschman because you want his bat in the lineup, but you want him to have a day off, and then you end up catching him. It would be relatively beneficial if you would have 3 catchers on this roster, like, say, Samuel Basallo. And no, I'm not saying get rid of Alex Jackson. Keep Adley Rutschman, Alex Jackson, and bring up Basallo. So now you have 3 catchers, but at the same time, you now have at least one other person that can play first base. Now, Mountcastle's scheduled return, so that may get put on hold. But at the same time, with Basallo up here, and essentially you would have 4 players for 2 positions, in first base and catcher, and also maybe some DH spots. But you would have a right-handed, a left-handed, and a switch hitter option for first base, catcher, and DH. Now, obviously, because you only had 2 of each, Basallo being the left, or I guess you don't have. No, you would only have 1 of each. But because Maya's right-handed, Alex Jackson's right-handed. Okay, so there's your first base and your catch option for right-handed. Rutschman can play first base. He's played first base at least once. He can do it. It's not that much different than catcher. If anything, it might actually be good for him. Get out from behind the plate more often, and maybe Basallo as well. Catcher can ruin the legs. So, hypothetically, in a 50-game stretch here, if you had Alex Jackson, Samuel Basallo, and Adley Rutschman sharing the catching duties, 20 games for Rutschman, 20 games for Jackson, 10 games for Basallo. Also some first base and DH opportunities in there. Yeah, I think you can do that. Hell yeah, that would be a good idea. Without Arias on a roster, you have no real need, or you have no real want to DH Henderson or Westberg. You may do it just to keep their bat in the lineup and give somebody like the hell's the guy's name? Vasquez or whoever else you're bringing in. Another infielder maybe, to get them some opportunities in the field. Sounds like a great idea to me, but yet Mike Elias won't pull the trigger. And he's still, at this point, saying, I don't want to hurt his development. No, that's not what it is. It is, to a certain extent, a contract and playing time, not necessarily playing time, service time. And as far as if he plays too much during this year, yeah, I don't remember what the hell the number is there. If Basallo would play too much this year, then he couldn't be the Rookie of the Year next year. And I think that's what Elias is hoping for. Because if you get a Rookie of the Year, you actually get an extra draft pick. So, there's that. So there's potential that Basayo will hopefully break camp with the team next year. Because one, I think they'll supposed to get a compensatory pick for that, maybe. At least they were going to for Jackson. So I don't know if they do. I think it says first round pick. I don't remember where Basayo went. I think he might have actually been an international kid, isn't he? So you may not get the extra pick for him making the roster, but being Rookie of the Year, you will get one. Maybe that's what he's waiting for. The whole service time issue. That's probably what it is. Yeah. Where the fuck was I? Oh, I ended off with Rutschman and how they DH'd him and then he went into cuts, and I hate that. Jeremiah Jackson, right field. Ofer walking once. Jordan Adams coming in, defensive replacement. He actually goes into center field. Then Carlson goes over to right. Colton Cowser, 2 hits and an RBI. Dylan Carlson, Ofer. Kobe Mayo, Ofer. Alex Jackson, Ofer. And then he was pinch hit for late Ryno. Recent waiver claim. And the reason why Tara Bobber isn't on the roster no more. Tara Bobber. And then, yeah, it would pinch hit an RBI. Actually tied the game up. So they went in the 9th inning tied up. So how about that? And then Keegan Aiken actually has to get slotted into the pitcher spot or the hitting spot, the 9th place here because you lost your DH. Yeah, wonderful. And yeah, it was Aiken at the end 2 days in a row. That was a great idea. Rutschman Cowser with doubles. Noda with a stolen base. It was late, so it was kind of a bit of defensive indifference. Henderson with a caught stealing. Jackson is Jeremiah Jackson. That was a fielding error, the one I told you about. And Westberg with a throwing error. Again, I guess it wouldn't have come into play because they would have been winning in the 9th inning and then giving up a 2-run home run. It would have been 3-4. So technically, maybe it didn't have an overall outcome on the game. Though maybe you don't give up 2 runs in the first if Jackson comes down with that ball. So maybe you end up giving up the home run to tie it. But it did factor in here. However, yeah, look, two runs, 2 unearned. Brandon Young getting the start in this game, only able to go 4 2/3 of an inning. Again, not helped out by his defense. As you can see, yes, 5 hits, gives up the 2 runs, but again, no earned runs. He did walk 2 and he struck out 4. Only threw 80 pitches here. Somewhat surprising he didn't continue, but however, it's fine. Dietrich Enns, first man out of the pen, finishing off the 5th inning and then going all the way to the whatever the hell inning. I don't even know at this point. I don't know what care. Pitching an inning and 2/3. So I guess an inning and 2/3 would have been 1 out. He would have finished off the 5th and pitched the full 6th and then 7th. Getting 1 out in the 7th inning. The final out of the 5th inning and then the first out of the 7th inning. Does give up 5 hits, which is not that good. Does give up 1 run, which is actually okay considering he gave up 5 hits. Doesn't walk anybody, which is nice. Striking out 3, which is fairly well. 5 outs and 3 of them on strikeouts. That's nice. Cade Stroud in relief of Enzo, finishing off the 7th inning and pitching the full 8th inning. No hits, no runs, no walks, 1 strikeout. Okay. Not a bad job. Keegan Aiken here. Yeah. Technically, one of those runs was unearned. So maybe the defense pulls their damn head out of their ass. Oh well. Keegan Aiken technically does not get credited with anything pitched here because he didn't record an out. Cubs walked it off. Aiken does allow a hit, but again, another runner was allowed to get on with Westberg's throwing error. Happens. he made a nice play to get to the ball, and then he threw it, and he just went wide. Maybe if the runner wasn't there coming down first base, maybe would have been able to get it. And I think he could have, but he would have had to go through the runner coming down the first baseline, which is not really going to happen. But however, so 2 runs given up by Aiken, only one of them earned on the home run by Justin Turner. Didn't walk anybody, didn't strike anybody out. Yeah. Pinch hit Justin Turner right here, top of the lineup. Because, of course, they were at the bottom of the lineup, because, of course, Oriole pitching cannot handle bottom of the lineups anymore, which is wonderful. Great. Because you put very nice hitters at the bottom of the lineup. No, you stack that. Good hitters at the top, not as good hitters at the bottom. Yeah, first pitch, bam! That was like no doubt. Man. Well, I mean, that's what happens. We only saw 6 different pitchers from the Baltimore Orioles. There were actually 3 pitchers that we didn't see in Yammer Geraldo, Houston Roth, and Elvin Rodriguez. Geraldo's here because Selby got injured, and Houston Roth and Elvin Rodriguez, they're here because I don't have a damn clue. One of them taking who's the pitcher that went to the Cubs? Shit. Kittredge. One of them taking Kittredge's spot. Well, I guess the other one is taking Dominguez's spot. Very confusing. But as you can see, we saw Morton, Wolfram, Cano, and Aiken. Saturday's game, and then Sunday's game comes around. You have Enns and you have Stroud, and again, you still have Geraldo and Houston Roth and Elvin Rodriguez, which we haven't seen Roth or Rodriguez pitch. And then you have Geraldo, who really isn't that good. So I guess you choose to give it to Aiken, give the ball to Aiken. To be perfectly honest, when they pinch hit with Justin Turner, I go to a righty. Just in my opinion. Because still, I'm trying to win this game. I'm not going to leave Keegan Aiken out there. Or maybe I'm going to Cano. I'm either going to Martin or I'm going to Cano. Because why not? What have you got to lose? The game. Okay, well, you left Aiken out there and you lost the game. But hindsight is 2020, and managing a bullpen is very hard. Very hard. All right, let's get to some transactions. Get the hell out of here. One of the trades made under the wire, and this is back to Thursday, made very late at the deadline. Charlie Morton to the Tigers for this pitcher, Makai Ashman, and this article courtesy of Mass and Staff. You can see they posted it about 7:30 on a Thursday, which was trade deadline day, which the deadline was at 6 p.m. Now, technically, this Makai Ashman isn't taking Morton's spot. We'll get to that in a minute. You get to this here in a separate trade at the deadline. This also coming from the Mass and Staff. Orioles acquired Dietrich Enns for cash considerations. Why it wasn't the same deal, I don't know. But I guess maybe what was going to happen was the Tigers acquire Charlie Morton and have to make room for him on the roster, and maybe Enns was going to be that guy. And Michael Elias just goes and says, hey, we'll give you some cash for this guy. Let's say you can make the trade, you don't have to DFA him or something and risk getting nothing for the guy. That's possible that's what happened. It's entirely possible. I'm not 100% sure. I'm just speculating. And again, if I didn't mention it, both of those last two articles were courtesy of the Maxim staff. More from the Maxim staff here. Again, these moves are crazy. I don't remember who was for who, but lots of empty roster positions. So I guess Geraldo was one, I guess technically for Kittredge, and Elvin Rodriguez and Houston Roth have been on this team for at least 4 games, and we haven't seen a pitch. That's hilarious. Wow. Because apparently Yamil Geraldo taking the spot of Andrew Kittredge here. Jeremiah Jackson also taking somebody's spot, and that's probably Cedric Mullins' spot just by timing here. And also you see, again, courtesy of the Maxim staff, Jacob Stallings elected not to stay with the organization. He's a free agent now, not going to AAA Norfolk. More roster moves. Luis Vasquez, Jordan Adams, Terran Vavra joining the team. So Vasquez probably taking Ramon Arias' spot. Jordan Adams probably taking, let's say, Ramon Laureano's spot. And Terran Vavra taking Ryno Hearn's spot. Confused yet? No. Guess what? There are still more roster moves. No, this article is not going to be talking about them. This article written by Rock Kabatko, and something that came up when talking to Mike Elias, that Rodriguez is probably, well, I'm going to say probably. Elias is not saying that. Elias is saying surgery for Rodriguez is back on the table. I'm saying Grayson Rodriguez probably not pitching this year. Something about some kind of elbow debridlement, which was something around what Kittredge had over the offseason. Something about random ass pieces of bone, or something that happens up in there where little pieces of bone or where they're not supposed to be, or something, and you go in there and you clean it all up. Because again, Rodriguez, if you missed it, Rodriguez was shut down again. Yeah. Grayson Rodriguez not going to pitch this year. I don't care what anybody says. How many times did they shut him down? It was once coming out of spring training, and then somewhere in the ramp up, he had some kind of shoulder inflammation, something, so they shut him down again. And then somewhere in there, he had some more lat discomfort, so they shut him down again. And then now he's having some kind of elbow issues. Yeah, he's not going to pitch this year. He's having too many problems. So while nothing is confirmed about him getting surgery, I feel at the moment it's all about Mike Elias and the Orioles organization convincing Grayson Rodriguez to get the surgery. Because that is supposedly this elbow debridement will increase the chances that he is ready to go for next season. So, and yes, the timeline, I mean, think about when Kittredge had his knee debridement. Yeah, maybe the elbow, it would probably take about as long as the heel, and yeah. He'd be able to get back. Sure. Because you got to think by the end of the year, his arm will be healed. And he'll be ready to start a pitching regimen. So yeah. January through February, ramp up, and then into March, sure. But you got to convince him to get surgery. And I think that's really what's going on here. Alright, another article written by Rock Kabatko ends activated, added to the roster there. So that fully replacing the 6 players that got moved at the trade deadline. All right, cool. If I can remember what the hell we're all talking about here. Okay. And what the hell else was in this article? Oh, that's right. This article here, Rock Kabatko, talking about Bradish and Tyler Wells doing rehabbing stuff. Going pretty good. They seem to be right on schedule. Bradish looking like actually maybe last week of this month. Or wait, we're in August. Oh shit. I was really kind of hoping it would be before the month was over. Maybe a week or two on Bradish. Possibly. So possibly what? Around the 20th of August, and then maybe, hopefully, Tyler Wells around the 30th of August. Hoping that's the timeline there. And again, these guys coming back with a month left in the season. You think Rodriguez is going to pitch this year? No. Also, mentioning that Cade Povich will join the team. He's done with his rehabbing and injury stuff. All good to go. He's going to join the team today, Monday, to play the Phillies. No official roster move has been made yet. But they've been telling us for the past few days that Povich will start Monday. Okay. Article here by Rockabatko. Move to claim Noda off of some waiver wire from the White Sox. DFA Terra Vivre to get Noda up here. Cool. That's alright, Vulture. Get the hell out of here. It's article here by Rockabatko. More waiver claims by Michael Elias. He's a waiver claim in full right now. Mr. Brujon and Mr. Ragsdale claiming off of waivers. Don't know too much about them yet. I don't know if they're going to get any playing time with the big club yet. But also talking about this is Mountcastle, who was over the weekend where we were thinking that he was going to join the club Monday with the Philadelphia when the Orioles play the Philadelphia Phillies. But according to Tony Mansolino, Ryan Mountcastle hamstring feeling fine. Mountcastle will not be joining the Orioles Monday. Today. Because. Who the hell knows why? Whatever. Alright, here you go. Let's get the schedule, wrap this shit up, and get the hell out of here. Very lots of things to cover. With lots of roster movings. Monday, today, Baltimore Orioles at the Philadelphia Phillies, starting a 3-game set. Monday's game, scheduled 6:45 p.m. Tuesday's game, tomorrow's game, scheduled 6:45 p.m. Wednesday's game, scheduled 12:35 p.m. And then an off day Thursday. All right, cool. Love them off days. So that's going to do it for this edition of Ryno's Orioles Report. Please stay tuned for Thursday. Shit, did I have something else going on? Hell with it. Stay tuned for Thursday, and I will discuss the series between the Baltimore Orioles and the Philadelphia Phillies. Please like the video and subscribe to the channel. I am the Angry Ryno, and this is Birdland.